You're listening to Behind the Mask, the show where we'll come together once a month to discuss mental health. Welcome to the second episode of the school year. I'm your host, Ava Gonzalez, and in today's episode, we will dive into the 3-0 formula, which was conceptualized by Kat Caselli, a clinical mental health counselor, and discusses how overthinking and overworking can lead to feeling overwhelmed. Overthinking can lead you to try to overcompensate in an attempt to make yourself feel better. Judging yourself and constantly focusing on others' opinions of you can lead you to self-doubt. If you feel like nothing you do is good enough, you are left in this endless cycle of taking on too heavy of a workload or stretching yourself too thin. The other side of this consists of people who overthink and procrastinate or avoid their problems. They become so worried that they cannot work, which only leaves them with a bigger workload when stepping back into reality. This leads to feeling overwhelmed and being unsure of how to manage time. According to Forbes Health, 73% of people ages 25 to 35 and 52% of people ages 45 to 55 chronically overthink. Overthinking can cause you to fall into a cycle of an endless loop of anxiety, fear, and depression. By overthinking and constantly planning your next step, life can seem overwhelming. It is difficult to create a concrete plan in such environments and headspaces. Therefore, it is important to practice coping skills that bring you back to the present and focus on the problem at hand, rather than all that is to come. A coping skill is defined as an adaptation to stress that allows one to manage their behavior and give psychological comfort. This can be a conscious or unconscious decision. Coping skills can include listening to music, drawing, running, swimming, or watching a movie. These are all customizable depending on the person and what brings them a sense of peace. Overthinking can also cause one to hyper-focus on the past. They may replay conversations or decisions that prevent them from moving forward and continuing their life. It is important to not live with regret and constantly being unsure of oneself. When trying to get a job, an employer is attracted to and trusts in someone who is confident rather than someone who is second-guessing themselves. Therefore, overthinking can continue to hold one back if not gotten under control. You can combat overthinking by creating a schedule or using handwritten schedules to hold yourself accountable and not spend too much time looking at the past or the future. Instead, make a plan and account for changes, but don't allow yourself to hinder from your end goal, which is ultimately to be successful. This would not be possible without moving on to the next stages of your life and maturing. Overworking can result from trying to prove oneself to other people, or from societal pressures put on individuals to be the best. This can even be prevalent in motivated LHS students. Students may join every club possible because it's what they feel they have to do, or they want to show their interests and ambition. However, this can often lead to them not being fully attentive in most of the clubs and unable to explore what they are truly passionate about. Students who try to multitask can often make mistakes in areas that they are otherwise skilled in but are not able to give their full attention. Overworking as a student can lead to these behaviors as an adult, which can lead to burnout. Student burnout comes from academic stress. Warning signs can be seen in the decline in both physical and mental health, distancing oneself from friends, getting lower grades than usual, having trouble focusing, lack of motivation, and not being one's usual creative self. You can prevent burnout using William Russell and Rex Birch's 3R approach: recognize, reverse, and resilience. Recognizing consists of observing signs of burnout. Reversing is to overturn damage by pursuing time and stress management or seeking assistance. Resilience builds up your stress tolerance by prioritizing your mental and physical health through everyday tasks. This can be as simple as getting more sleep, spending less time on social media, and getting adequate nutritional intake. It is important to balance schoolwork, social life, family obligations, extracurricular activities, and recreational activities in a way that categorizes them into a day-by-day routine. This is because one may feel overwhelmed looking at these as a whole, rather than separate quantities that require different levels of dedicated time. Licensed clinical psychologist Amelia Aldeo recommends that people look at short-term goals to prevent taking away from the uncertainty of the present. According to Dr. Aldeo, looking too far into the future and trying to predict and control all aspects of life can make people feel even more out of control. Therefore, through overthinking, people are often left feeling overwhelmed because they realize it is not in their power to change the past or future. With overthinking, attention cannot be evenly distributed, and you cannot perform to the best of your abilities, making you feel unsatisfied with your work and left, once again, overanalyzing the situation. Feeling overwhelmed is characterized as a symptom of anxiety. The stigma surrounding anxiety is often negative. However, over 40 million adults in the US, or 19.1%, are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. This number does not even include those who have not submitted their information due to fear of being judged and not wanting to disclose this information, or those who are unable to report it because of lack of treatment access. This accordingly could lead to even more anxiety surrounding healthcare costs, leading to stress becoming more severe and less tolerable. Therefore, struggling with the 3 O's, overthinking, overworking, and feeling overwhelmed, is nothing to be ashamed of because many people struggle with these feelings. By voicing these 3 O's, it brings awareness to a common challenge among students and adults, creating a more relatable, welcoming, and inclusive atmosphere. And with that, we have come to the end of the episode. I hope that you found this information helpful and maybe even put it to use in the future. Remember to stay aware of your challenges, but not to suppress them, because it only creates more stress. Come back next month to see what else is behind the mask. I'm your host, Ava Gonzalez, signing off. See you next month.